Berserk's author, Kentaro Miura, has a beautiful hidden gem called Giga-Machia. Giga-Machia is a short manga that Kentaro released back in 2014. It only has 7 chapters, and I would highly recommend you to go and read it right now, because I'm about to spoil the crap out of it. But the TLDR of this video is that it's a pretty good fucking manga, and honestly, it's probably visually one of the best short mangas that I've ever read. I'll even go further and say that this short manga has some of the best panels ever in manga history, in my view. I've just collected some of the panels that I really liked and enjoyed in a puref, and as you can see, like, this manga is definitely showcasing to us that Kentaro really knows his shit. Like, the amount of detail that goes to these panels when it comes to overall anatomy, but also like composition and just overall detail, is nothing short of amazing. Even in terms of like composition in general, right? There's so much detail here that I just simply can't really comprehend, because even though I am an artist, I'm mostly like on the 3D side of things, and I work on lighting and composition and all that sort of stuff, so I don't really know much about anatomy specifically, but the work that he does here just looks insanely beautiful and just showcases all that knowledge that Kentaro, at this point, 20 plus years of experience, really encapsulates in this short manga, right? But it's not only that, man, it's just even the characters themselves. Like, the characters are insanely beautiful. Look at this. It's like an octopus elephant that has like flamethrowers, eyes that are buttons. It's insane, like, but it feels so goddamn cool. And even the composition itself in this one is really fucking nice, right? You have like a sense of scale compared to all of those humans on this right side. It feels like this composition is mostly on like a diagonal line, and it gives like this sort of dynamic and movement to the overall character. Or even stuff like this, right? You have like these dudes that have like this mask. You know, these masks are very much reminiscent of, you know, the 16th and 17th century hair that people back in Europe times used. I do want to mention the characters of the show. Ogrun, Prom, and Delos are some awesome characters. They're super likable in general, in my view. Especially Prom and Delos, even though their relationship can be sometimes a little bit weird, to say the least. I think they're likable all the way from the first panel that they show up. And one thing that Kentaro uses a lot is comedy in order to more easily showcase the relationship between two characters. I do think that Kentaro in general is really good at creating these sorts of dynamics that make you feel like these characters are real and believable. The story is rather simple, broadly speaking, because we follow basically these two characters, Prom and Delos, who are basically wandering around a desert, even though they don't say it in the beginning of the chapters, they only say it in the end, but their whole objective is to find this titan called Alcyonius. Now, why do they want to find this titan? Well, they want to neutralize him. There's basically a battle between gods, right? This is very much focused on Greek mythology, and essentially what you have, from what I understood from the manga, is that you have Gaia going against the gods of Olympus. And the gods of Olympus have sent all of these titans to search for parts of Gaia that are scattered around the earth. I'm assuming that these parts give more power to them or something along those lines. Delos and Prom's job is to find these titans and neutralize them and defend Gaia. Delos and Prom are basically defenders of Gaia, and Delos is also a titan, and he uses his powers in order to defeat this titan. In the middle, like, Delos and Prom find the Scarabaei civilization that have intertwined with insects and scarabs, and so that's why they look so different. I have no idea how this happened, and honestly, I do not want to know it. But you know, they gain their respect and admiration, and in that process, they find out that they also have issues with the Human Empire, and the Human Empire is basically using the power of this titan in order to try and destroy the Scarabaei that are also protecting part of Gaia. I think the story is fine. It doesn't really do anything special. I think what's interesting is just the overall world building, but I do find interesting how Kentaro Miura put it some sort of dilemma with these characters. In the end, the titan is defeated, and the Human Empire tries to run away from the Scarabaei that are trying to hunt them down and kill the rest of them. But Delos kicks in and tries to stop the Scarabaei from basically murdering all of the Human Empire, and asks them to basically forgive them. Obun, which is one of the main characters of the show, is fucking mad at him with good reason, and also the Scarabai leader is also completely mad and can't understand what is the thought process of Delos requesting this from them. This is a great dilemma and a great problem that Kentaro put it here. It's just like, oh shit, how is Delos going to solve this issue? Is he going to be able to appease the Scarabai in order to not continue the cycle of violence and vengeance and death that continues to prosper between these two civilizations? And the way that he found to do so is by calling Prom. Prom has a lot of magical powers. She feels like she's the one that is most closely to the gods. She basically comes and saves the day. So basically her whole thing is like, I will wipe the memories of the human empire when it comes to like your whole existence of this vast desert and of your civilization on one condition. You will nurture and let the Titan that was just defeated take root in this land. It will also give you a prosperous land that you can cultivate throughout the year. And I mean, is that even a condition? It feels like it's a win-win, right? Like they live in a desert with barely any food or water. And so it just feels like it's a win-win situation here. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they accept the offer and everybody lives happily ever after. Now, do I agree? Do I like this ending? I mean, I have some questions regarding it. I understand what the whole point of Kentaro is trying to make here, which is basically to impose a question on you, the viewer, which is, given the chance of an almighty figure of God, whatever it is, coming in and saying, hey, I'm giving you a chance here. You can either forget your grudges and keep moving forward and try to bring prosperity and new beginnings to you, to your people, or do you want to still continue the cycle of violence, vengeance, and death that has been perpetuated over time and years and decades? I do appreciate that, but I wonder if there wasn't another solution to this issue. Maybe that was his whole point. Maybe it's just saying like only God can save us because we, humanity, just are doomed to kill each other, I guess. Maybe it's just to showcase that without this divine intervention, the Scarabai people would choose violence. They would choose war, and they would not forgive the human empire at all. Maybe it really is to showcase that, you know, without God's intervention, the human race as a whole are doomed to its own destruction. It's in our nature, I guess. We are very tribal in our essence, right? We are still animals at the end of the day. And a lot of the times, especially now in the 21st century, we really forget about that. We tend to put ourselves in a different sort of pedestal when it comes to other animals, but we are very much like them. If we are put in the right circumstances, we are able to do some of the most demonic things ever in the world. Even the most saints of people. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from. If you are put in the right circumstances, you are capable of doing some of the most horrible things in the world. Now, there's clearly a lot of Berserk comparisons to be made here, right? Prom and Delos definitely look like Guts and Shirk. There's this whole thing about the gods and how they are manipulating essentially humans for their own whim. You know, there's this whole thing of the cycle of vengeance, and is it worth continuing that cycle of vengeance? Are we not able to forgive the people that have done us wrong? And we might just see a lot of what he made in this manga specifically being translated maybe in a different way to Berserk, but I am going to do a video about what I believe the Berserk ending might look like in my view, and yeah, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you still haven't read this little manga, it's only 7 chapters, I would highly recommend you to. It's visually stunning, it has some great characters, it has an intriguing story also, and it just showcases how good of a fucking artist Kentaro Miura really goddamn was. And so yeah, if you like this video, subscribe, and yeah, have a go and see ya.